This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Hey, YouTube. Hey, you. I hope you're doing well, everybody. In these unprecedented times, I hope you're being safe. If you are sheltering in place, as is the new word to use for this, or if you're self-quarantining, I hope that you're safe and secure, that you're not too stressed out, that there's not too much anxiety involved in all of this. And if you are having to work, I really hope you're taking care of yourself. And good for you. Good for you. You're probably in an industry that is serving others, and that is a good thing. So good for you, and thank you for your service in whatever capacity that it is. Got some emails and some voicemails to go over today. If you, I'll say it up front, if you would like to communicate with the show, and by the show, I mean me, you can call 714-576-4054. There you can leave a voicemail. You can also email a voice memo from your smartphone. You just record your voice memo and then email it. You can email it to daily@dollemore.com. And then, of course, that's a regular email address where you can send old-fashioned emails. So we got some voicemails and some emails that I want to go over today. Again, thank you guys for your dedication to the show. I am back. I got a lot of well wish. I've already talked about that. There is some of that scattered in with the questions and the comments that I'm going to play today. So thank you. Anyway, let's get to the first call. Bobby has something to say about the markets and a question about the previous Ebola crisis.
Hi, Jesse. This is Bobby. Just want to thank you, first of all, for your service and the job you're doing with these videos. I would like to know, why didn't the stock market crash to the extent like we did now when we had the Ebola virus? I think Obama did a better job than Trump is doing right now. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Bobby. I believe the answer is twofold. The answer deals with one, kind of a general racism, because it had to do with Africa, the Ebola virus on the west coast of Africa. And then also it had to do with the fact that Obama handled it, and there were very few cases here in the United States. The disease wasn't exported. It wasn't transferred. It wasn't spread throughout the globe, and certainly not in the United States. That would be the more specific answer, that the markets didn't freak out because there wasn't a global ramifications where supply chains were disrupted, where the specific United States economy wasn't threatened, but also the global economy wasn't threatened. But to the larger point of racism is oftentimes when things go awry in Africa, where things are bad in Africa, whether it be famine, whether it be war, Western countries don't take note. And I think that is because of a white supremacist type of culture that is just ingrained into Western culture, especially the United States. And markets aren't going to freak out because, it's just Africa. Obviously, that's a terrible way to look at the world. And that is a terrible way to respond to very real threats with very real people. But that's kind of what happens. So I would love to know what you guys think. Am I wrong? I am certainly not opposed to being told that I'm wrong. And again, you could use the phone numbers that'll be here if you do. If you agree or disagree, let's talk about it. Next is an email from Michael M. It probably won't make it on the show. Much to your chagrin, Michael, it did make it on the show. It probably won't make it on the show, but me as a long-haul trucker would hope for a shout out to the industry while millions of Americans decimate stores for water, food, and toilet paper and hand sanitizer. We as truckers work around the clock, even have our compliance for our hours of service suspended for hauling goods such as water, hand sanitizer, disinfectant spray, and medical goods, so everyone in the United States of America can be safe and recover from the COVID-19 outbreak that Orange Joe tried to dismiss as a hoax by the Dems, and now blaming China for it. Could have started in the U.S. just as well, but we as truckers get no or little help to help when we need something from the federal government. But now that it affects everyone, we are given more flexibility. So the next time anyone gives the finger to one of us because we took longer to pass another vehicle, remember who stayed out and away from family and risking exposure to COVID-19 to ensure the country didn't crash and burn, and you were able to get the supplies from the store you needed to ride out this pandemic, and all the hospitals got resupplied to try to operate as normal as can be. All I can say, America, you're welcome. Well, Michael, it is an awesome point. I opened the video talking about people in service. If you're working, thank you. And you're one of the people who are working right now. And it is a service to your fellow citizens. It is a community effort here. And the people who are, I don't want to say forced to go to work, because I think there's a lot of people who want to still work. They want to still earn a living, and they would be restless, but they are at danger. They are at risk. And truckers are a perfect example of that, that while the supply chain is a little wonky right now, it is because of long-haul truckers. It is because of the transportation infrastructure that we have that we're able to know that those snafus are going to be cleared up. So thank you. And everybody should thank a trucker. Everybody should be thanking their healthcare providers. Everybody should be thanking those people who are in essential occupations. So you're not overlooked by me, brother. I think it's wonderful that you're still on the job, and I, for one, am absolutely thankful. So the next email is from Michelle, and she says, I understand we need to keep business going in this time of crisis, but how much is it going to take to stop lining Trump's pockets? How many hotels does he have, golf courses, etc.? And before I talk about it, we got a call on this very subject that I think we should address.
Yes, hello, Jesse Dollemore. Listen, I'm glad you're doing much, much better now. Hope you stay healthy. We need you to stay healthy, and I need you to be on the air.
Thank you.
To tell the truth. My statement was, these trillions of dollars that Donald Trump is about to divert, somehow I know Donald Trump will probably try to steal some of this money for one of his businesses or his 500 LLCs. There needs to be a committee, an anti-corruption committee set up between Republicans and Democrats that monitor where every dime of this trillions of dollars goes. This is like the greatest bank robbery for the Trump administration possible. To have $1 trillion and no one knows exactly where it's going, I know billions of dollars of this money is going to end up somehow in the Trump's administration, in the Trump Foundation, in one of his 500 LLCs. Every single media outlet needs to be investigating the Trumps at this time and their associates and family. There is no way Donald Trump is going to allow trillions of dollars, in my opinion, to be put out there without him getting a piece of that pie. Hope you're having a great day, and they need to set up an anti-corruption committee to make certain they know where every dollar of this $1 trillion goes for this stimulus.
I completely agree that there needs to be a committee set up to make certain that there is nothing, that everything is done with propriety. I believe that. And to yours, anonymous caller, and to Michelle's point, Donald Trump is probably the only word I would take issue with is you said steal. I wouldn't put it beyond Donald Trump. It's not above Donald Trump to steal money, but it's going to end up being more of a problematic thing than stealing outright, because he's going to do it under the guise of, yeah, well, I own hotels. If other hotels are going to be getting cash in on the stimulus, I also need to. And so there's an ethical constraint here. There's an ethical problem with him organizing the stimulus, him being able to say yay or nay, him being able to say this industry gets more money than this industry, while he's in the same breath going to profit, going to benefit financially from that stimulus arrangement. It's a problem. Rest assured, though, there are tireless journalists out there, another industry that needs to be shouted out for being on the job during all of this. There's David Fahrenthold is a guy from the Washington Post who's been tracking Donald Trump's finances, especially the charitable giving. He's the one that uncovered all of that scandal, all of those ethical problems with the Trump Foundation, which you mentioned isn't a thing anymore. Donald Trump is banned. Him and his children are all banned from practicing in any charity. They're not allowed to run a charity. They're not allowed to be on the boards of a charity because of their fraud. So his foundation and his charitable work it's gone anymore. It's not a thing anymore. So, but yes, Donald Trump is probably going to benefit from the very stimulus package that he is organizing. Great questions. A great topic that really does need more airtime. Next is an email from Robert. Hello, I am a Canadian who is watching closely the unbelievable situation in the USA regarding Trump. In all my attention that I have given this matter via all the news channels and YouTube, I have never heard anyone say anything about the example that Trump lays out for the youth of the USA. To me, all I can see is that Trump is telling the young people in your country and others that the way to success is to lie compulsively, bully one's critics, and act like an 8-year-old in an argument saying ridiculous and stupid things that come to mind in the moment. Why does no one bring this up on the mini shows and news programs? Your president is making your entire country and its people look very stupid to the outside world looking in. Sorry to say. Regards, Robert. Yes. I don't have the benefit of looking from the outside in because I'm inside. So, but I think I have enough faith in the citizens of the world and other countries that they give credit to our goofy electoral college system. And they know that Hillary Clinton got more votes than Donald Trump, that he technically didn't win in a democratic fashion. He lost the popular vote. More Americans said no than said yes to Donald Trump. So I think people give a little bit of credit to that they don't think, oh, all Americans are idiots. Now, look, there is certainly a percentage of Americans who are idiots. The 35% of steadfast Donald Trump fans, I don't really think anybody is irredeemable, but goddamn, it's pretty close. As far as the young people, yeah, that is a problem that Donald Trump is setting that example. It's going to take maybe an entire generation to undo the damage that's been done by the examples Donald Trump has set. It's going to take a lot of time, and it's something I fear that people who are up and coming, and this is their first experience with presidential politics, with national politics, are going to see how Donald Trump acted and think that's the norm. We're going to have to do a lot of work as a country going forward to reverse that particular perception among younger people who just came of age in this odd time. So thank you, Robert, for your concern. As a foreigner to the United States, as a Canadian, I've I've had good experience in my life with Canadians. They're good and decent people who love and care a lot. Next up is, we'll wrap it up with this voicemail about a third party.
Hey, Jess, this is Mike Rainer, and don't worry about consent. I got a question for you. I'm not a vet. I wish I was. My dad was a Marine Corps DI. So, for the longest time, I've been seeing veterans get screwed by first the Republicans and then the Democrats and then the Republicans and then the Democrats again, over and over again. Question is, what would happen if veterans of this country, and when I'm saying veterans, I'm not including just guys who served in the military, firemen, police, any first responders there are, wrap them all up as veterans. What would happen if they got together and created a third political party? I'd like to know your answer to that. And hang on one quick second.
Happens to me too.
I'd like to really get your answer to that. If you got caller ID on this thing, give me a call back or put it on your dollar more daily. I'll see you there.
Well, how about we just do that here, right here on the show? So there's a couple things to take into consideration about a third party that would be comprised solely of military veterans, and first responders. And that is, they're not a monolith. I'm a veteran, and I consider myself a progressive, but there's a lot of veterans who don't believe the things that I believe, whether it be about race and race relations and how we should deal. Like, for instance, I'm a proponent of reparations. I believe that the United States of America as a government, as a country, as an entity, owes a debt to African American, to descendants of slaves. Not everybody holds that view, especially among police, fire, first responder types, and veterans. So it would be hard to coalesce or create a third party unless it was just about we served and it's centrally focused on the service. I don't know. The other thing, and this is more general, about third party existence. One of the many reasons that third parties have a hard time taking off here in the United States is because of the other two parties they soak in the new ideas. They leech these new ideas. For instance, we'll use a conservative example and a Democratic example, or a liberal example. The Libertarian Party has all kinds of ideas about the state and the power of the state and the liberty of individuals. And anytime they come up with something that kind of works or is taking off, is picking up steam, is gaining popularity, the Republican Party soaks that in and just envelops it and takes it on board. And then it takes away the power of that new idea from that particular political party, the Libertarian Party, or libertarianism. Now, the same thing could be said for Democrats. Medicare for all, universal health care is very popular right now, but that is a democratic socialist idea. And the reason that the DSA is going to have a hard time becoming an official third party that really can hold its own is that as soon as it gets popular, the idea, which it is now, look what's happening. The Democratic Party is onboarding that particular policy as though was always going to, well, yeah, we love that policy. We're all about that. So it really creates a situation where third parties have a hard time catching on in the United States because of the leechy qualities of the other two parties. So I hope that is somewhat of an answer for you. I hope that I'd like to know what everybody thinks, though. Thank you, Mike. 714-576-4054. One more time, maybe less DJ-ish and slower. 714-576-4054. And of course, email me at daily@dollemore.com. So, as I always do, I end this with a request that if you're in a financial position to help support and produce this content, click that join button, and for as little as $1.99 a month, you can become a channel member, supporting independent voices like this, supporting independent content like this, which I believe is more important now than ever. Another way that you can help support the channel and help support the content is to go to dollemore.info, and that'll bring you to my Teespring store where you can buy branded merchandise for both the podcast, I Doubt It with Dollemore, mugs and stuff like that, but also Dollemore Daily, those treason shirts with the 45 in the middle, those are still there for sale, and that would be a great way because you get something, you have something to hold on to that you bought that also really supports the channel. So the other thing before I go, if you're still here with me, is because, and this isn't about supporting the channel, I really want to put this out there as a question to the audience. YouTube is demonetizing everything. My videos are getting maybe 1/10 of the views that they normally do, many of them right now, because of what's going on with the health scare across the globe, the pandemic. And I've got all kinds of hobbies and things that I'm interested in. For one, cooking is a big deal. It's a big part of my life. And I was wondering, what would you think? Would you be into it? Let me know in the comments. Email me, call. If I was to do a cooking video of me, it wouldn't be super highly produced. It wouldn't be like binging with Babish or Chef John over at Food Wishes. Maybe a little bit like that. And while we're all cooped up, I could do some things, cook some things that some of my favorites. Anyway, I think it would be conversational video. It wouldn't just be about the cooking. But I'd be curious what you think about that. Again, 714-576-4054, daily@dollemore.com. I love you guys. I appreciate every single one of you, every moment that you spend listening, watching my content, every moment that you spend dedicated to writing a comment, to emailing, to calling. All of that is fantastic. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Stay secure. Dedicate yourself to some self-care, to not being stressed out, to not being overwhelmed by anxiety. I'm having a hard time with it right now. These are weird times, and we need to wrap our arms around one another, figuratively, because of social distancing. But wrap your arms around somebody. Give them a call. Let them know you're thinking about them. I'm thinking about you. All right. Until next time, I'll see you.